Yeah, Mr. Hadley meant a lot to everybody that was from the area. Mr. Hadley was the area, was Mr. Hadley. Mr. Hadley was Cabazon, and Cabazon was Mr. Hadley. Um, that building was like everything. Back in the day, that building was everything. Um, and yeah, Mr. Hadley really prefers to be with his, I think it's his, I think it's his, Mr. Hadley loves to be at this house. I think it's, I want to say, a great granddaughter or something. I'm not sure. The house is very modern. The living room is full of very out there items. Mr. Hadley loves to sit out and back. Has a beautiful, beautiful yard. Mr. Hadley likes to sit out in the back and enjoy how the back area is just so beautiful. But yeah, Mr. Hadley will still go to Hadley's, the old building. So if you're a psychic, or if you're somebody who can understand that Mr. Hadley's around, every now and then you can catch Mr. Hadley at that old building. And he's dreaming that it's back in the old days when he used to sell really healthy, good items to everybody. And feel so proud of himself that he was such a good man, that he was just happy to always watch the whole city and everybody in the city just be happy and healthy. And really, 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 Mr. Hadley spent so much time on every item and making sure everything was so healthy and so good for people that he sold at his Hadley's location. Mr. Hadley. I can't let go of the old building. I don't know when I probably would. I just want to sit next to the old building and remember Mr. Hadley. Hadley's is really good food, though. Really healthy, good food. It's good to have somewhere like Hadley's, because it's good to always have somewhere here and there all the time that is really, really healthy stuff. Because, like, we don't pay attention to those things like we should. It's fun to think about people like Mr. Hadley. People that care about everybody being healthy and strong. But the new building seems like a pretty building. But there's just nobody like Mr. Hadley. So I'll probably just park by the old building for a while. There just isn't somewhere better to be for a little while. Alright, I'm gonna go get stuff I need to get. The children of God have told me I have to get a silicone pipe. There's nothing like a silicone pipe. I don't know. They lead me to everything. And it was like, no, I'm just going to use God Nature Pot to go to sleep now. That was just to honor a cancer lady. And they were like, well, you got to get a silicone pipe in case you ever do it again. That's a big deal. Those are really fancy, really big deal. And they were like, and it doesn't stay dirty too. Like, a lot of things get dirty. These silicone pipes, sometimes they don't get dirty. Like, if you were a good smoker, you would know that's a constant problem. Like, well, I tried doing that smoking thing. I didn't really like it. But I did notice it gets dirty. Like, it does get dirty. But, so they want me to try one of those. And I'm not gonna lie. My big issue today is that I bought those 2 bottles, and I don't know if I need anything else for the car. Remember, I was showing you those bottles. They were called like seafoam. They were called sea something in a bottle, and you put it into your tank. And according to the bottle, it was better than a tune-up and all kinds of stuff. It fixed the bottle said it fixed all kinds of stuff. And the AutoZone person said, you're getting the best deal. You're getting a really good deal. You get 2 of these bottles for less than the bottles I normally get. And he was like, see, these are less than the bottles you normally buy, and they're way, way better, way, way more. They do more. And the bottles said they do like everything ever known to clean your engine, clean your fuel system, clean all kinds of stuff. So I thought, okay, well, I bought 2, and I used 1 bottle through a whole tank of gas, and then I used another bottle through a whole tank of gas. So now I'm sitting here thinking, do I even need to care about buying these bottles for tanks of gas anymore? Or can I kind of relax? If I bought 2 bottles that are normally expensive, but I got them on sale, and these bottles say they clean everything pretty much through your whole system, I wouldn't really need a bottle of anything for a while, right? That's what I would think. I'm going to have to consult with gods and smarty pantses that make all this stuff, because I don't know the answer. So I'm sitting here not knowing the answer. I was taught to get Techron high mileage by a really cool guy at the AutoZone that I knew was really smart about cars. Now I get this bottle from this guy who was smart about cars, and he said it fixes more than the bottle I got. It fixed all kinds of stuff, and he was right. It's probably normally quite expensive. It seemed like it fixed a lot of stuff. So now I've done 2 of those bottles, but what does that mean? Because let's see, if it's the high mileage bottle, if you put the high mileage bottle in, then you can skip like filling your tank once or so or something, but you should keep putting it in. If you get the cheap gas. If you get the cheap gas, you should put the bottles in whenever you think of it. So with cheap gas, bottles in when you think of it, when it's Techron high mileage. If you use the expensive gas, or when you use expensive gas, then you put in the Techron high mileage right about during oil change time all the time, more or less. But with this seafoam, what would you do? That means you get to take like 2 or 3 or 4 tanks break, or? Oh, no, I don't know. So I'm going to look that up. Decide what I'm going to do from here. And I don't know if I really need some silicone pipe. If you just take pot, marijuana, God, nature like a pill to go to sleep, you don't normally probably need one of those, do you? See, that's another thing. I don't think I would normally need one of these. So if I needed anything to bond with some victim or something, I could just buy one of those ones that looks like a little cigarette and be just fine. I probably won't need it. So see, I was sitting there thinking, what do I really need to be doing or not be doing? Because why buy something in the end you don't really need? Or do you? That's another thing. Like, is this important? Boy, I don't know. See, it's so easy to judge. It's so easy to judge. But if you were loving and considerate, wouldn't you feel so bad for countries right now? We can't make one stupid, silly decision, or we don't know enough to make a silly, stupid decision. And somebody who runs a country right now is making the biggest, scariest decisions ever known. Every decision they make is going to connect to life and death all the time like it's nothing. And my stupid issue of silicone something because the child of God said it. Maybe I'll put that on side burner. We can always get one because we find out we need one or something. Huh? Then you're not wasting time and money buying stuff you don't need. Because that's my big thing. I have decided that by the time I buy land or do something or get this traveling advertising job that the gods want, the gods can't find a traveling advertising job where a weirdo dead god fits in. And I can't seem to find an advertising traveling sales job. I can't seem to find one on demand when you want to find a job like that. But if we finally get to work and nobody can stop it or change it, and if we get enough money to get a little piece of land like we wanted, I have decided that I'm going to use the fact that this car is so small to confine everything I own into perfection of only what you need to buy. Perfection of what you only need. Because the one thing I am is clutter till it would make you sick. Now, in the trailer, I was half dead all the time. And nobody would know that. Nobody would know that. At the trailer park, I always said, I've won, I've resurrected, I've won, I'm in my resurrection process. You fucking bomb me, United States. Or if you can't bomb me, I've won, it's confirmed, just let it go. But I never wanted the trailer park to be subjected. So whatever I went through, I kind of tried to hide it or keep it to myself. But boy, did I pack rat like holy moly. I just was horrible at pack ratting like holy moly. Now, do I normally live like that? But when you're being sat on in death and beyond, you can't move or do or live or exist or accomplish much. So everything kind of pack rats easily. But was I a pack rat when I would normally live at all these apartments and stuff? Kinda. So I was going back to say, okay, I was half dead, drugged and poisoned all the time. So maybe at the trailer being so gross on the inside that you can't even live or function. And I was so grossed out all the time thinking about a shower, going to the bathroom, existing, because everything was so gross. And I was suffering so bad I could barely exist or breathe or move sometimes. It was so gross. Whatever they were doing to me, I don't want people to sit and tell me what day it is. Please don't tell me what I've been through. And don't ask. Even cops, even detectives, everybody tells me too much about what I've been through. I'm still in things. Until every soul is so dead that I'm so safe and so free. Don't be doing that. Or infer, give a summary, give a kinda. Don't map out how much my breakdowns should break down, because boy, look what you've been through. And because I'm still in something. Even if you're in something a tiny bit, you'll have a breakdown just thinking about the fact that you've been through so much when you're still going through so much. Which I'm just gonna take it out on my enemies. So and I'm gonna survive no matter what. At some point, you're gonna. But just don't do it, because it's not very nice. And if I teach you not to do that to me, then of course, thank God you're not going to do that to victims or other people. I guess maybe people don't think about how much a victim can handle talking about what they've been through. So please always have consideration for that. Or maybe go through my queen to see how much people actually can handle. Because that stuff is mean and brutal. And I'm already a fucked up dead god, man. So, a poor victim, that'd be too much for their poor. They wouldn't be able to survive. So, but That's it. The one thing I really want people to understand here. I pack rat. I think, so I looked at the trailer and I said, okay, the trailer is when they drug and poison you and you can barely move, barely exist. Then I went back to Potrero. I was renting those trailer things in Potrero over by San Diego. And it was kind of pack ratty, but they had me so drugged and poisoned. And they were creating dirty clothes unrealistically and leaving it everywhere, and putting shit on food and leaving it everywhere, and making sure CPS were always everywhere, noticing shit on food or too many dirty clothes everywhere, when it was a bunch of murderers and rapists just bringing extra dirty clothes and shit and shoving it everywhere and making sure the CPS always found it. And they were all people that just murdered me for convenient, leisure, happy, fuck you fun, and made my rooms or houses look sickening so that I'd be the bad, gross, abused one that goes to jail every 5 minutes when everybody else did it. Boy, I'm going to take this out on dead things very badly forever. And I'm never going to care. Paybacks are great when you're a god and created everything in the first place, and they should have remembered they had no right to even exist or live. And as soon as I get my hands on them, I'm going to reinvent death. Reinvent the death of everything and shove it up their asses and all kinds of horrifying things you'd never even want to understand. Could you imagine doing something against a god that created everything and can recreate brand new death that should belong to everything in existence, but shove it up their ass instead? Yeah. Fucked with a bad decision. But that was in the embryo, and I'm 50-some fake years. So they have a lot of overdue death they have to serve out forever, so I couldn't give a shit. But when I got to my other apartments throughout all these fake years, I did see that I kind of pack rat. I do collect things that I like. So I like when I live somewhere, I like to collect glasses with like pictures or paintings. I love fancy glasses from every airport you go to, or like where you collect memories that you just keep along a wall or something. And I really like glass that's painted or decorated or has pretty pictures and stuff. But other than that, I was kind of a little pack ratty, and I noticed that. So I decided, since I have to do this alternative living thing, and I'm not as good as my friends. I do not know how to convert the car like my friends. My friends can convert the car until their car is as luxurious as living in a house. I can't do that, but I thought, you know what, and that's a blessing, because I would just pack rat it probably. I'm going to learn to live so sickeningly, perfectly perfected. So I'm going to learn to be mean to myself and force myself to stop being pack ratty. When I want to buy things, be mean to myself so I don't. When I want to keep doing things, only stock up when it makes perfect sense, because it's things that you use anyway. Like right now, stupid nose spray. I depend on nose spray to breathe. In the Palm Springs area, if I don't spray nose spray, I can't breathe. But I almost didn't remember to get that with my wipes when I go to the Dollar Tree right now. But only pack rat 5 billion of something you keep using all the time. That's not what I do. I'll pack rat too many weird piles of stuff. Like, you know how people have a junk drawer? But it's like, I don't know. I don't think I'm a junk drawer. I think I take it till it's obese, not junk drawer. Like, it's like the loser too much junk drawer or something. Like, I've got a problem, like, with crap. So I thought, you know what, I'm not going to be doing this. I'm going to be productive and constructive. I wanted to live this weird way so I could travel around and put the power of God wherever I wanted, and put my priorities over the truckers or whatever I chose. I am a weirdo dead god that decided my powers and my realities are going to be wherever I park and wherever I park and wherever I pick. Day to day to day until I get this job or migrate to a new area and regroup about what I want to be when I get over there. So damn it, I've decided to live this weirdo way. And when you're stuck in a small space, it really teaches you to stop wasting when you could be very productive. You could put only what you need and put it like a perfect, you know the people we fall in love with and watch on the YouTube all the time. The people that live in Japan and more, and their living space is like this big. So they are so good at only buying what they absolutely need and making sure it is so perfectly put everywhere. And that's what I'm not one of those, but I am determined. I am determined to be so hard on myself that by the end of this, will be so much better at what I have or don't have day to day. But I'm putting it on a video to force myself so that when I get a piece of land and I have my first pod or whatever, I wanted to live in a pod for a while. I was like, you know what I would really want to do? Get land where the scenery is so dreamy. Get some piece of land where just looking at the nature and the scenery around you is its own gift. And get like a pod or like a really big plastic ball you can actually just sleep and live in. Because like when you're done doing it, you can just put plants. You can plant your plants or put amazing things in all your little pod reality. But you can get these little pods and they're usually just plastic or something silly. And all you need is a window or to make a little makeshift window. And then you get to sleep perfectly in the land like a perfect little sleeping dream. But during the day, you get to look around and see how beautiful and dream world and pretty the scenery is out in the middle of nowhere like that. Because I was always going to get a piece of land out in the middle of nowhere. I don't like to be around a lot of brains or souls. When your job is to take care of souls and brains for a living, it's a luxury to get away and kind of hibernate or hide. So I was thinking of getting just a nice plastic silly thing that you can just kind of lounge and sit in. Like a really fun, weird, those beanie bags? Everybody likes to lay in the beanie bags. Something weird and silly where you can just lay and lounge on something inside of like a plastic ball or a plastic pod and just enjoy being weird in nature and just enjoying the beauty of nature. And then like you have forever to get a barn. Maybe get a barn, kind of make it work with a porta potty and a barn. And then, that way you don't have to stress about what specific tiny home or what your ending life result would be. I don't want to just grab anything because, like, when you grab things, you always have regret. And when you feel like you have to rush, you never make a choice you like. So the one thing I have always learned is to take my time. Because you can get the pod off the land, and those are stupid and tiny. And you could also move a barn around and turn a barn into anything. So you could live in it temporarily and then turn it into anything, a little shed. A silly little place where you do your fancy flowers. A little sewing, a little knitting, sewing, or arts and crafts little side building room. You could turn it into anything and dream anything and build anything. And then you have forever for tiny homes and like actual stuff that you have to leave there for years and years to come. To pay for or whatever. But that way you can do stupid, silly, dumb things while you figure out the smart, like, I'm going to be stuck with this kind of stuff. But that also makes me kind of sad. I'm kind of sad right now. I had a long talk with a guy that said I would fund a community of gods. And gosh darn it, lady, if you can make sure an actual, real God came down and sat on a throne that we build out of goldenness or something, I would do business with you forever. Some guy was so beautiful, he went to my queen, and talked to a bunch of gods and angels and a bunch of experts and giants and powers that be. And then he was like, and now I've talked to Bonnie. And then when he got to me, he said, I went to my queen because I just didn't know what I think or don't think. But you know what? After talking to these gods and angels, this stuff is exciting. And you're right. All you want is for someone to give you a week or two to prove what you are or are not. You're not asking for anything else. It's obvious that countries are sitting on top of you. Something is sitting on top of you. Something is abusing you. Because homeless people would just want to take the money and run. And a billion people would just want to give a sales pitch to get their hands on money and take off. So if you were a criminal or a fly-by-night, you'd already know how to just talk fancy and take our money. But you're really honest. You say 2 weeks. I just want 2 weeks to prove I'm God. I'm massive. And if I can transform your company and your life, well, then I'm worth the money or the contract. And nobody will let you live. And it's so sad and sickening and obvious that you are stalked or mistreated by some pile or group. And, so one, I'm sorry. And two, I really acknowledge that I realize that God is so damn real. And there is nothing, bigger. So he said, but I've been talking to these gods about how you can't really do much more or less than what you can do because a bunch of countries and you are stuck in this. So Bonnie, I've been talking to these gods, and we can only do business with you when these countries that are in danger are not in danger anymore. According to every god through my queen, if countries are in danger and you, Bonnie, are not winning, everybody has to kind of freeze until the great Bonnie Annika is winning or these countries scrambling are winning. But according to the gods through my queen, really you should just wait till the great Bonnie Annika is running it and winning like it's nothing, because everything else could pose a threat or danger if they could hurt me. And I was like, well, if you're not a husband or something, yeah, I would wonder. If you're not really powerful, really well protected through my queen gods, if you're not drowning in safety and protection and a guarantee you'd be safe, then yeah, I wouldn't want anybody to even move either or do anything. But I told him I'm mostly promoting these things for the people that always loved and worshiped me. As soon as I see that someone always loved and worshiped me, I can do business with them and more. And I can try to figure out with the husbands and these countries in secret how to make people want to get closer to my queen and every god and be as safe as people that always loved and worshiped me and figure this out that way. But yeah, it depends on your safety level, who you are, like how much God's can take care of you. There's a lot of factors. But I told him, thank you so much, because it just matters that somebody out there cared. It just matters that somebody out there cared. And he was really nice. He was like, yeah, I more than cared. I would have done it. Just having my queen, and a bunch of gods answering me, I would have done it. I would have paid you some good 2-week money so you could just have a good life and live something nice. And I was pretty sure it would happen. And now I'm dreaming about a community where people can live there and gods and angels will visit directly, literally. And it's mesmerizing how famous and how off the charts we would be building this community. If a god could literally fly from the sky and sit on some chair that we, work forever with contractors to build, right there, we'd be bigger than anybody on this earth. And I was like, well, you would know, you're a very, very smart, self-made businessman, and you really love smart business things. And you do own a company that decides whether people have good ideas or not. So yeah, you're probably a really big expert. And I wish I could do it. I wish I could do a billion things more than words too. So thanks, because it just matters that you cared and you would have gave me the offer. And he was like, you know what? It's a standing offer. If there's a way for you to build me this housing community and prove a God will visit literally this housing community, if you can swing it and wing it, I will give you that 2-week paycheck. I have decided how much it would be to take 2 weeks to prove to me something, anything. And I would take what you prove, and I'd run with it. If you just had a God come down and throw around some lightning and sit by a house and say, see, one day that God with that lightning sitting by the house is going to be our community and the God visiting, I'd go for it and give you that 2-week amount, and like we would build it and we would see what it becomes, and I would fund it all but be your partner because it was your idea. And I guarantee, Bonnie, you'd make a very good amount of money. And if that community went good, I kind of like this idea of this karma car that lights up about your moods and all kinds of fun stuff. I'd probably start letting you have a lot of ideas and fund it all. And then you'd live in the beauty of being one of the most magnificent partnerships of wealth ever known, just because you're really smart and think of amazing things. I was like, oh, wow, that would be really great. Because think of what he's offering. He's offering to pretty much pay for everything up front. And I just make whatever percentage or whatever because I'm smart and think of smart, amazing ideas. And it's backed by the power of God and guaranteed success. And it's like, well, the God and guaranteed success part makes me feel proud that that's a percentage I would deserve. But the other part is pure generosity, that he would give me a good or decent enough percentage to say thank you, that I'm just pretty good at thinking of stuff the world would really want. That's pretty nice of it. I'm pretty generous. Well, I'm going to go get my antibacterial wipes and see. I'm glad I sit here with the children of God. I'm glad I'm sitting here as a God, rehashing and thinking and talking to all of you. Because what have I done? I have taken out all kinds of silly, wasteful, stupid shopping I was going to do. There was a whole pile of stupid things I was going to do. And now, thanks to all of you, I know that I'm just being silly and stupid. And like a female, I just want to shop or something. And I need to stop. I just need to go get my stupid wipies or my basic essentials. And I don't need more than that. So thank you.